Hey friend, welcome back to the Fuel Your Awesome show. We are in March and it is kicking off with a bang. I'm so excited to hit on this topic today because it's so crucial. I mean, how many times have you found yourself mid-afternoon? Either it's like you're getting almost to the end of your workday, or maybe you had just picked up the kids, you walk in the door. It's that 2 to 4:30 time frame that we seem to be most vulnerable to just grabbing whatever is available, and not just grabbing it, but often going what feels like overboard. It's the most common time for us to choose foods that aren't necessarily fueling. They're more there for fun or like a quick fix. Maybe things are really busy, and so we're just grabbing what's available. But this tends to be the time that we're most susceptible to eating without intention. And so today I want to talk about the best ways to actually stop this, to stop the overeating. And I think my answer might surprise you. I'm so excited you're here today. Let's go ahead and dive in. I'm Jess, host of the Fuel Your Awesome podcast. I overcame an eating disorder in my early 20s with a mix of faith and empowered eating. Now, I get to partner with food and fitness to create this energy level that can keep up with everything I value, like being a mama, a wife, and a champion for amazing humans like you. The best part, we are flipping the script on what aging healthy looks like, embracing grit, grace, and contagious confidence. Here, nutrition science meets mindset glow-ups to create a health approach that amplifies every area of your life. I have always believed health should be a launching pad, not a glass ceiling, and I'm here to help you make that shift too. This isn't a quick fix, my friend. It's your weekly recharge. Think audio coffee with an edge, served by me and my expert guests to challenge the status quo of health and empower you to fuel your awesome. Okay, so I wanted to hit on this topic because, again, it comes up on repeat in so many of the folks I work with. And I think it's just such a powerful tool to be able to integrate. And it's something I know you can do this week, and it's going to totally change how you see your day and that snack time in the afternoon. So I was talking with one of my clients last week, who I've been working with her for years, but she was saying how, she's so frustrated because during the day she works, and she's a really hard worker, really successful woman, but she is like on her plan. She's so focused and she's in it. And then as soon as she signs off from work, it's like everything's out the window, and she has a really hard time staying on plan. And she's like, Jess, what is it? What is my body craving? What is it that I need? And I want to break this down because I think when folks say that term, like I crave something sweet in the afternoon, or I need something salty in the afternoon, I think there's a lot more to it than like you actually need a cookie or you actually need a bag of chips. Let's break it down. All right. So there is a biological component, but there's also an emotional component. So let's first look at the biological. So if you find yourself hungry in the afternoon or craving something sweet, first we need to look, are you getting adequate fuel during the day? I cannot tell you how many times I have worked with clients who are hungry in the afternoon and mad at themselves for overeating. But then when I look at what they're actually eating during the day, and I'm going, no wonder you're hungry. Like you've hardly eaten anything today. That's biologically driven and honestly biologically smart that you would grab something quick because your body is hungry. So I think first and foremost, we have to make sure you're eating adequately during the day and that it's balanced and it's actually meeting your nutritional needs. Guys, this is where my job as a dietitian is actually really helpful. I always joke, this is why I have a job, because we can help you figure out exactly what that needs to look like. And whenever folks say like, well, Jess, what are your, how do you do meal plans? I got to tell you right now, my friend, I do them 100 different ways. I would say this is my superpower, is meeting people where they're at. I have some people that want numbers and, they do really well with it. So we talk macros, we talk calories. We can definitely do that. I have other folks that's a slippery slope for them. And so we need to get creative in how we communicate their nutrition needs. So we can I have like this bubble system that's really like visually pleasing. It's easy to navigate. It doesn't involve any measuring or logging. It's really just teaching you kind of how to plate your food. And then I have some where it's like, we just need to eat something. I'm going to set you up on a meal schedule where you're eating at these times, and I don't care what it is, but we just need to eat something. And then there's so many things in between those. So If you find yourself hungry in the afternoon, step number one is really making sure you are meeting your biological nutrition needs. And if you don't know what those are, guys, get on our calendar. Like let us help you determine that. We can do that in a one-off session. That's the first thing we do inside the Well Fueled Academy. The first month is about actually coming up with your step-by-step nutrition plan based on your biofeedback and any testing that we need to do. So that is something that we can get figured for you and is worth your time. Sister, you deserve to know how to best fuel your body, and let's make sure we do that according to you, your values, your biofeedback, not TikTok. I'm so over people getting their nutrition information from TikTok. It's driving me crazy. And not that there's not great information on there. Like, I do think it's cool how we can distribute this information, but number one, it's too much. Like, I get overwhelmed. There's this doctor that I actually really like. She's super smart, but she now pops up on my feed all the time and she's telling me all these really scary studies. And I didn't follow her because I was telling my husband, we can't eat anything because everything has plastics in it. And, it puts us in this extreme kind of neurotic state. So it's too much, number one. Number two, it's not filtered through one, our values, and two, our body's story. And so, yes, if you use TikTok for nutrition information, cool, but make sure you know what your values are, you know what your biofeedback is, and you know how to filter that information because it's going to drive us all crazy. Man, yeah, yeah. I'm not even on TikTok. Actually, that wasn't Instagram. TikTok is a whole nother level that kind of honestly just overwhelms me. So I'm not going down that road. Okay, that's number one. We got to get the biological taken care of and let us know if you need help for that. You can find out ways to connect with us in the show notes. But the second part of this afternoon need for a snack is emotional. When I was talking to that friend I had mentioned at the beginning, I looked at her and I go, you need something sweet because you need a hug. Like, she was looking for a sparkle all day long. She was disciplined, not just with her food, but with her time, with her mind, with her intention. She doesn't breathe for one moment during the day and do something just for the heck of it. This is like the art of play that we lose as adults. So I think we are in this go mode, this state of responsibility. Our schedule doesn't always belong to us during the day. And when we get in that state, it makes sense that by the afternoon, we're going, I just want something for me, right? I want a hug, whether that's a physical hug or like I don't know, like a latte hug. We're looking for something to sparkle up our day, to glitter up our day. And there are ways we can do that outside of food. I just think in our world, food is the most accessible. Like, if you're driving your kids, if you pick them up and you got to get them to practice or whatever's next, like, it's not like you can go, get your nails done during that time. So food is accessible. It's so easy to just go through the drive-through and get something that like feels good in that moment. And we do tell ourselves, we're like, I need this because it's true. We do need a sparkle. We do need a hug. It's just, it's being misplaced in food, and the food's not actually what's going to save us. So when it comes to this afternoon slump and our need for something sweet or salty, kind of depending on what your preference is. Okay, so here are some other ideas. First of all, we can get outside for 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you got, but get outside and look up. How many times in the day do you actually do this where you get outside, you take a deep breath, pause, and you connect? And I remember when somebody told me this, I was in my early 20s. I was in a state of being a workaholic, and somebody told me this, and I was like, I don't have time for that. No, I wanted to punch them in the face. I said, I can barely get everything done. But here's the reality. If we have time to pick up our phone and scroll, if we have time to go through a drive-through, if we have time for all that, we can find 2 minutes to just pause. And this is where some of my values come in, and I'll take that time to actually pray and like tap back in to my connection with God, because let's be real, when I'm on the go and moving from one thing to the next, it's really easy to lose that connection. But I think that pause, what we're doing is we're actually engaging the prefrontal cortex, which is our decision-making center of the brain. And so when you find yourself in that afternoon slump looking for a hug, instead of just like feeding the autopilot, let's get outside, take a breath, look up, and engage mindfulness, which is strengthening our prefrontal cortex. So that's one way to prevent that afternoon overindulgence. Another would be to have a transition period when you're moving from one thing to the next, whether it's from work to picking up the kids, or picking up the kids to dropping off the kids, or just on your drive home. Whatever it is, look for some sort of transition, because I think, again, when the need is a hug or a sparkle or something for us, like the unmet need is not food. The unmet need is a moment for ourselves. And so a wind down routine is awesome. I used to have a longer commute than I do now, but when I did, I had a song I would play. I would put my phone down. I would resist the temptation to pick it up at the red light, and I would actually sing the song. And if you notice, there's a pattern here. This is again engaging in mindfulness. It's actually being present and engaging the prefrontal cortex, which is what idea number one was. Another thing we can do is actually add some sparkle into the day. And this was something in particular I had worked on with that client I mentioned at the beginning. With her, it wasn't so much about adding sparkle at the end of her day or a transition period. It was about actually adding something in the middle of her day that made it more fun, so she didn't feel the need for that hug or that sparkle at the end of the day. What there was, man, I had this great job one time where I had room and space for sparkle. And I think I'm really grateful for this job because it has allowed me to value having fun during your workday. And as I moved on to other jobs that maybe didn't have as much space for play, I have still prioritized it because of this job. So, anyways, I worked at this facility where we had just a great team, a really fun team. But we would have spaces in our schedule that didn't, like, it was not enough time to start a new project, so we'd kind of have just this playtime. And there was one time, I can be real ornery, but there was this guy. So it was on a military base, so all the cars are like, we're behind gates, so this is not like out in public. But this guy who he used to live in the northern part of the United States, which is a really safe area. Well, we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where car theft is like, we're number one in the world. So you never leave anything in your car. But here he was, he's going, we're on a military base, we're fine. So he would leave his windows rolled down and the car keys on his, like on the car seat. So every time I'd walk by, I just saw those keys sitting there going, this guy is just asking for his car to be stolen, especially here in Albuquerque. But in his mind, he's from, I think he's from Montana. And he goes, people don't steal cars in Montana. Also, here we're on the military base. It's fine. So one day I have this like little window of time and I remembered his keys and I go, you know what? I'm going to move his car. So I went out and I moved his car. Well, I ended up doing this for months where I would just move his car like a couple spaces. And but he was not saying anything. Well, one time he was parked right in front of the building and I actually moved his car like to the other side of the parking lot. So it was really obvious. He comes back in the building and goes, who moved my car? This has been going on. I thought I was crazy, but clearly somebody has moved my car. And I just start dying laughing. And he hears my footsteps like run around the building. And so he knew it was me. He's like, Jessica, come back and we have a good laugh about it. But I share this because during that time, like I was able to have these opportunities and I played. I had such a great time. And I will tell you, that is probably one of the seasons I was the healthiest. And I really truly attribute it to the ability to have sparkle and fun in my day to day. And so for you, now you might not be, I'm not advocating for stealing cars. Like, let's be clear. But can you find some fun in your day? With my girlfriend and the client I'd been working with, for her, we just established like during lunch, she would actually like watch a show or watch her fun YouTube reels, like it's something that actually added to her or added fun to her and laughter, something that she did without agenda during the day. What can you do? Can you go talk to a coworker? Can you break and go make a nice cup of tea and actually engage with people around you? Like, how can you add some sparkle during the day so it's not work, 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 and then you're so burnt out by the end of the day? You want anything that's accessible, and food is usually what it is. Let's add some sparkle. And then the last one, my friend, is can you add sparkle to someone else's day? If you're going, well, I don't know what to do, like go love on someone else. There is nothing more wonderful than pouring into another human being, whether it's a word of encouragement, taking them a latte, just walking by and telling them they look awesome in their outfit. That is going to be something that gives back to you tenfold. So, can you add sparkle in someone else's day? I want to challenge you. So, if you work through these, so we address the biological, we make sure you know what you need and you are eating that. And then the second half is the emotional. Can you pause? Can you engage in some mindfulness or play during the day? I challenge you to do this. I guarantee it's going to totally transform that need for something sweet or salty in the afternoon, maybe even in the evening. Again, that's another time we tend to be vulnerable to this, is like when the day is done, the kids are in bed, or we finally stop. That's when the snacking and the mindless snacking really picks up. Try this out. I guarantee it's going to transform how you engage with food in the afternoon and evening hours. My friend, I hope this was helpful today. If you want to dive deeper into the empowered eating method, I would love to do that with you personally. We are walking through so much in the Well Fueled Academy, having such a great time building this community that really looks at food multidimensionally, not just black or white, good or bad, not just as fuel, but how we can engage with food truly from an empowered mindset, looking at our values, our biofeedback. It's just an amazing time. And it's so transformative. Food is really our lifeline, and we have to learn how to work with it. We have to learn how to eat it. We have to learn how to not feel guilty. It is so crucial to our existence and well-being, and I would love to help you out with that. You can find out more in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here. It's going to be a great month. I'm excited you're here. Let's have a great day. I'll see you next time, my friend. Cheers and happy eating. I am so glad you stopped by. I know you're leaving today with so much insight, but let's make it actionable. Take a moment right now to choose one key takeaway and write it down. Putting it in writing is the first step to making it happen. And remember, it's small, consistent changes that spark the biggest health transformations. If you're ready to dive in deeper into empowered eating, check out the show notes for free resources and details on how to connect with me and the Empowered Eating team. If today's episode lit a spark, my friend, I'd be so grateful if you'd share the love. Leave a review and tag me on social media at Jess Brown RD. By spreading the message, it helps us reach even more people who need empowered eating in their life. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you're always in the loop. Until next time, my friend, I hope you have a beautiful day. Cheers and happy eating.